Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, a historic post-fight UFC ESPN Plus analysis in the early mornings of Sunday, January 20th. It's about 2 in the morning right now recording it, so we're a bit past our bedtime
We're a
here,
bit
but
slow.
Just a
it
tiny bit
is
sleepy.
the first ever. We're going to try something new post-fight analysis. A lot of fights to get into. There was some MMA, there was some boxing. So let's get right into it. UFC,
All right.
ESPN Plus, filled with controversy, great fights, quick knockouts. It had everything. Henry Cejudo in 32 seconds ends up stopping TJ Dillashaw with
Cementing
the
himself as a
upset,
Hall of Famer.
cementing himself as a Hall of Famer, as you said, Yusuf, and as well keeping the flyweights alive,
Yeah.
fighting for his division. Let's get right into it. Your guys' thoughts on the fight. Maybe Yusuf, you want to kick it off and get your thoughts on the fight.
Yeah. Oh, Cejudo just he brought it to TJ, bro. TJ was shook. Like Cejudo just went. He like bodied him, bro. Like I think TJ was a little bit too overconfident. I don't think he expected Cejudo to come at him like that. But
Not at
Cejudo,
all.
like if he finished TJ, and also he also think about who he beat before he faced TJ. Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse. So back to back wins against
Yep.
DJ and
Yep.
TJ. I'm like, yo, like who has a resume like that? Like TJ, how do we think like TJ can't even call himself the greatest of all time for for his size? Because the best guy he beat was did he beat Dominic Cruz? I'm not too sure.
No, he lost to Dominic Cruz. I
Yeah, he
think
lost to
he'd say the
Dominic
best
Cruz.
guy.
Anyways,
I think
yeah,
he'd
but
say
like
the best
I
guy
feel
he
like he
probably
came
beat
too
was the
confident,
Barao or a Cody
and
Garbrandt.
he
It's
got
probably
what's
the two
coming
best
to him
guys.
because he got what's coming to him, and I'm so happy that he lost because I'm sure you guys too are not.
Yeah, man.
I'm not a big fan of TJ Dillashaw. I'm not a big fan of snakes in general in life. That's non-negotiable for me.
Well,
So yeah,
I will say about this is that like we said on the last episode is that I wasn't too confident on Cejudo pulling out this victory, let alone what he achieved this morning, early this morning. But I mean, like, geez, I'm just so
it happened so
freaking
fast. That's
happy.
the thing.
It was a blitz.
Yeah,
It was a look and miss
that's a
kind of thing.
surprise that came to me too. Like it
Yeah,
happened so fast.
I'm just happy that Cejudo did his thing, and like you guys just said, and even to what Yusuf just said moments ago about Dillashaw, like I'm not the biggest fan of him, especially what he did in that post-fight interview as well. But I gotta give credit where credit is due. That weight cut was just unbelievable, and he made it.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I mean, I gotta tip my hat to the guy for doing that. He is working with those mad scientists behind the scenes, and he did say he's gonna have no problem, and he did like he looked good. I'm not gonna lie, he
Hmm.
looked just one shredded, one hell of an animal. But I gotta say, I'm ecstatic for Cejudo. I'm ecstatic for the flyweight division, as you guys know if you've
I'm
been
sure Dana
following.
White's cheesed.
Oh
Did you
yeah,
hear what he said
100%.
about the fight?
Yep.
He goes,
Not
it was an early stoppage. He's probably cheesed that they gotta keep the flyweight division now.
You got to keep it now, Uncle Dana. Sorry to burst your bubble here, but looks like the flyweights live to fight another day.
Yeah,
So, what do you guys think? What's next for Cejudo? I think he should go against Benavidez Part Two. I mean,
but
Benavidez looked
I
pretty good.
think
but
there's a
yeah,
couple things like going back to the fight. I think some of the keys to the fight were like we talked about like the power, but a good point like that I think we didn't cover, and a lot of guys covering, a lot of experts, Daniel Cormier included, were covering before the fight is not just necessarily like the power of coming down, but the chin. I think that was a good point that DC made
Yeah,
is like how's his chin going to react from the weight cut? Like going through those 10 extra pounds, it does take a little bit out of you. Like you see with Kevin Lee at 155, like he might be a different fighter at 170. Michael Chiesa, same thing. Like those guys in
mhm.
between 155 and 170, Dos Anjos. So I think like the weight cut that could have been a key because right away when the fight started and Cejudo and TJ came out, I noticed there wasn't that big of a size discrepancy. Like they both looked like they were in the same weight class. One man didn't
yep,
look bigger than the other,
one
just
hundred
Yeah,
like
they
percent.
look.
BJ
It wasn't
Penn
that
moving
much of a
up, right?
difference.
So there was that, and then you noticed Cejudo landed a head kick before he landed that second one, kind of after he pushed him down, I believe,
Yeah.
if I'm recalling it correctly. But when he landed the first one, TJ he didn't really stutter back, and the commentators didn't like DC and Anik didn't really pick up, and I don't know. I'm not gonna say I picked up on it, they didn't, but like I noticed, I'm like, whoa, that kind of not stunned him, but that kind of like let him know like, whoa, Cejudo's like he's
Yeah,
got something,
yeah.
and then like how he was able to push him off and push him down, and TJ went down and then got back up, and then boom, that head kick came.
I think he got him down 3 times.
Yeah, that head kick came. So like right when he pushed him down before the knockdown, before like the big rock, and I was like, whoa, that easy, like, that because that was kind of too easy, right? Like I know Cejudo's a big, strong
Mhm.
guy, he's a wrestler, but that was a little bit too easy. So that's what I noticed. And then obviously great finish, early stoppage. Like for me, I don't really necessarily. Dana White did say it was an early stoppage, but he also said that he thought Cejudo was gonna get the finish eventually, which I don't agree with Dana a lot, but I agree with him in this sense. I think that was where it was going. Like for me, it was a bit early.
Yeah, I thought
The
either way
ref
he
was
was
trying
gonna
to get
get
in
it.
early. You guys can kind of tell he was trying to get in early. So there
Yeah.
was those whole factors, and then in terms of what's next, I think for uh for Cejudo, sorry. I think it's going to be Dillashaw. I mean, he said Dillashaw, but I think if it is Dillashaw, then they're going to kill the division. And Cejudo already didn't take the fight, and he said it. Dana White and UFC haven't really said much. A lot of guys haven't reported it, but Cejudo did say that the reason why he didn't move up the first time or this time when they fought is because of the flyweights, that they were going to nix the division. So I don't know. He wants to move up now. He said it in the post fight. He wants to get paid. So I think this
He
time
wants
he's
to be
going
the
to be a little bit
champ.
selfish. And if I was Mystic Marcus, I was sort of looking into the crystal ball, the crystal ball, sorry. I would say that I think the flyweights might still get nixed. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to say it, but I think the flyweights. I don't think they're out of the water quite yet. I think Cejudo, if he moves up, I kind of think. I don't know what you guys
He
think
might
on
have to.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I see.
a
Maybe.
crazy way of putting it, man. I mean, like I think like maybe the flyweights will be given a sort of grace period just to see how they stand going forward for the short term. But I never
Mhm.
really thought of it like that, Marcus. I mean, like yeah, I mean, like if he does go up to 135 to challenge Dillashaw for the bantamweight belt, then that still leaves the rest of the flyweights in a very precarious situation. Maybe they just
Yeah.
like there's
Because
no. Yeah, go ahead,
because
man.
just quickly, I'll pose this question out and send it back to you guys just quickly. Like other than Benavidez, who got a great win tonight again on this card, um, who else is there at 125 with that sort of appeal? There's nobody.
Not
Like, let's
many.
be honest here. There's
It's a pretty
nobody. The
dead
division,
division.
it's a pretty like exactly. It's a pretty thin division. So like if I'm the UFC, like I said, and like, again back to episode I think one or two earlier episodes, that the flyweight division, I mean, there's not a lot there. If you held the gun to my head, I kind of would nix the division. But just
Hmm.
what you guys are thinking, I don't know. What do you guys think is going to happen next, or what do you think should happen next?
Take it from here, Yusuf. I'll give you my thoughts in a sec.
I believe if Cejudo does challenge TJ, which I think is the right move to make, because I
Hmm.
believe now he is, as you said, he's a future Hall of Famer now, and he's chasing his greatness. So I think if he does actually beat TJ and he gets that bantamweight title, then yes, I believe then I think he'll drop the flyweight belt, and that might be the end of the flyweight division, in my opinion. That's the way I feel. I think if he does win that title, I think the flyweight division might get scrapped. But if he loses that fight against TJ, then I still don't know, because we talked about it in the past podcasts. Like the flyweight division's it's pretty thin. That's the thing.
Yeah. Just quickly, Damien,
Yeah,
before you jump in, I
yeah,
think
man.
I think it's gonna be before. Just quickly, I think it's gonna be before. So like, if he were to win the bantamweight title, I think it wouldn't even matter whether he wins or loses. I think if Cejudo moves up, or
Hmm.
when he does move up, they're gonna nix the division. I don't know what you think, Damien, or what you think should happen.
I mean, like I'm just thinking of the top 10 right now in terms of flyweights. Other than Ray Borg and like maybe Wilson Reyes, I mean, I'm even stretching the barrel right now in terms of trying to get names for who they can possibly invest in going forward for the division. I like Dustin Ortiz, I like Tim Elliott, and other than those four names, like I can't really think of anyone else as to why they would want to keep it around going forward. So, as much as it hurts me to say it, too, I'm kind of inclined to agree with you, Marcus.
Mhm.
It hurts, but at the same time, I guess like it's really difficult to argue why they should keep it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just to jump in here, exactly. That's I had a question posed to me yesterday by a friend. He said name five flyweights, and I named obviously all the main. So I
Jeez,
named
I got to four.
Reyes. Yeah, you
Yeah,
named four. Dustin
that's
Ortiz I
Yeah,
didn't even
4-2,
include in
man.
that five. I was kind of struggling to name another
yeah,
flyweight outside of that. And we're hardcore fans in the sport. We're watching every event and we're following
yeah.
the events week to week. So when it's that bad, I mean, I think it is not even just from a business standpoint, from a fan standpoint. I think the best move is sort of to nix the division. I don't want to see it. I think if Cejudo fights Benavidez, you can keep the division around for much longer. And I think the division is still in the hands of Henry Cejudo. It's funny, it was in his hands before the fight,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
even
yeah.
in his hands after the fight. I mean, Dana could
The
nix the
flyweight
division
king.
either way and force Cejudo to move up because at 135 there's some contenders lingering around, but like Cruz is now going to be out. I think another year. He's been injured. I think it's
If he's
his
gonna return at
Also,
all, man.
it's a shoulder
Mm.
tear if he even
hmm
returns. Right. I mean, I
Yeah.
really feel for Dominic Cruz. And then other than that, I mean, Cody Garbrandt has to get back to the drawing board. There's
yeah.
Lineker kind of lingering around, but other
There's
than that,
Rivera. There's
yeah.
Sterling.
So Marlon
Also,
Moraes, I
the thing
believe.
with
So
TJ is I think he was looking too far ahead because I believe he said if he won the fight, he was gonna challenge Max Holloway.
yeah, there's a lot of different aspects as to
It's
why TJ
hubris.
a lot of
Yeah, I think TJ caught a little bit of hubris, man. The pride
Yeah,
before the
I think
fall,
he
and
got too much into like almost into the McGregor hype. Like he goes, "Hold on,
yeah, look at him at the presser right before the event too. He's there chewing his gum. He's thinking he's Mr. It and everything. I mean, like there's one thing to have, like we always say, there's one thing to have confidence, and then it's another completely different ball game, and you have overconfidence too, right? And
Also, look at the way he reacted after he lost. Like he goes,
oh
"Oh, he
Jesus,
didn't beat me." Like he wasn't like
sportsman.
yeah, sportsmanlike or humble about it. Like at
Yeah.
least with McGregor, at least in McGregor's case, it's not like when he wins, like we know how he reacts when he wins, but when he loses,
Mhm.
like he takes a defeat and like he knows he lost and he gives like credit to the other guy and that that beat him. But
yeah.
TJ's a whole different clown. Eat
And
that.
McGregor
Yeah.
was sort of tweeting. He was kind of live tweeting throughout the night. And
Yeah,
Was.
him and
fighter,
Cowboy
one
too.
fighter,
Ooh,
And that's the other fight I wanted to get to,
and
Cowboy
let's get to
Cerrone.
that one. Cowboy Cerrone
bring your lucky
headlining
charms,
prelims,
buddy.
which I think he should have been on the main card, but
Should have been the
I
co-main to be for crying out loud.
I don't even know
I
why they made
guess
Craig Hardy
I
the
was
co-main event.
it was, I guess, a strategic move, I would say, is sort of get those
Yep,
ESPN subscriptions, get people to get in on ESPN Plus. Because for
definitely a
us in
tactic.
Canada, we had the luxury of watching it for free on TSN 5.
Yep.
Down south, I guess they didn't. So I kind of see their move there. But speaking of the Cowboy, speaking of Conor McGregor, who tweeted him,
Oh
Cowboy
my
Cerrone in a
goodness.
great fight. It was kind of back and forth in the first round. Then the second round,
Yep.
Cowboy
And then the
sort of took
second it
over.
happened, just pull the
Yeah,
trigger.
gets another win, gets
The
another
head kick.
adding to
I
his
love a good story where I
little.
oh sorry, go on, man.
No, I was just gonna say, I was gonna pose the question again to you guys. Is you think Conor McGregor, Donald Cerrone the fight to make? You think there's
I think it makes
Mm,
something
sense.
else?
I think
definitely makes
that
sense. Yeah.
I think that feud has been going on since
Yep.
which press conference was it? I
The
can't
one with
remember.
Dos Anjos, the Red
Yeah,
Yeah,
Patty Night one.
it's
yeah.
Yeah.
like a,
Bring out the red panties.
uh,
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like I change
So
your boom life. Like I change I'm just another broke boom, I think is
yeah,
what he
just
said.
another boom.
I'll play matchmaker here and make a couple fights. So
Yeah.
a lot of people are saying, well, where does this leave Dustin if Conor were to fight Cowboy? And I think Max Holloway maybe is looking to come up, and Conor would be a good fight for him too. But then if it doesn't end up being, I think because the only two fights I think to make or three, sorry, I think there's the Dustin Poirier rematch, Holloway fight rematch, sorry, not even a fight, another rematch for McGregor, and the
Mhm.
Cowboy fight. But let's say it ends up being the Cowboy fight. I think you throw Holloway against Poirier, And then I think
That makes sense.
yeah, and you throw Ferguson against Khabib, and I think you
Yeah,
have those two
Everything
fights.
aligns perfectly.
Everything
Yeah.
aligns. You see
two of
what
the
happens.
make the
You know
two
what
of the
I mean?
best in the lightweight division. Like they're hands down right now two of the best guys in that division. So make them fight. Then make
Yeah.
McGregor fight Cowboy. Then yeah, as you said, Marcus, make Holloway fight Poirier. It all
Yeah,
makes sense to me.
I
I
think that
think
makes
that's a good way to straighten out the
sense.
division because it just seems so cluttered at the moment that we
Yeah,
need order in it,
Lightweight is
right?
so packed. It's
Yep.
like you can
yep.
make so many matchups. That's the thing. It's like this guy can go with this guy, that guy can go with that guy.
Exactly.
The only
Just
thing
make
with
the
my
best fight the best.
matchups, the only thing with my matchups is it kind of screws over Dustin Poirier, because I
Mm,
mean then if he beats Max Holloway and let's say Connor beats Cowboy, they're gonna want Connor back and for that rematch. They'll make a case for him, and then Poirier again outside looking in. But then again, Ferguson and Khabib had to have 8 and 9 fight win streaks to sort of get their way to the top.
yeah.
So just keep lining them up. I think Poirier is right there, but I mean then if he beats Holloway, it kind of gives him that push and then do maybe a Connor. We gotta see where the chips fall, and then I'll obviously I don't know. Let's get into it. I guess it was
Craig
a big
Hardy.
topic issue, the Greg Hardy, Rachel Ostovich sort of controversy, and I was sort of on the same side as people who kind of said,
Like
I
Ariel
don't think that's
Helwani.
right. Yeah, I don't think that's right. But
He called him
I
out on
did.
it too. Like
Yeah,
he told him in front of his face, Craig Hardy, like like before the fight.
yeah, he definitely did, and I was one of those people who was interested to see Greg Hardy fight. I thought, considering everyone deserves a second chance and all that, but just looking at
Hmm.
and even looking at his fighting ability, pretty interesting. 3 finishes, 3 first round knockouts. I think he wasn't even out of the first minute in those 3 fights. So
Hmm.
just there was the interest
Yeah, he
there,
went guns blazing in the beginning. He just tried to
and
knock him out.
and
But
then
then
Yeah.
after when he didn't get the chance to knock him out, he started to
Yeah.
slow down. Then you
That's
saw
exactly what I was thinking.
once he got taken down, then that was like, oh, this is like real MMA right here. Like this is not like just standing up and brawling. Like once
yeah,
I'm down,
I'll
he,
take it. I'll take it even a step further, Yusuf. I think that like for me, what I think right now about Greg Hardy, I still think he's pretty green. I think that like Crowder was taking the shots and then he was
mhm,
absorbing everything and then he started talking smack to him in his face. And then when he realized he couldn't actually get to Crowder the way he wanted to, instead
mhm.
of thinking it was an MMA fight, I think he just thought like he just wanted to straight up brawl him. And
Yeah,
in
exactly.
that
That's what it
and in
looked like.
that moment he forgot all tactics and
Mhm,
his strategies and everything. And that's how, whether intentional or not, is the debate for of the next week, I guess. He
mhm.
I
just
don't
straight
know. We can.
illegal. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, we can get into it right now. I mean, for me
Yeah, okay,
personally,
yeah, let's
I
start. I
think
mean,
like
like, yeah,
touching upon on his green, just quickly touching upon on how green he is. Like I was gonna pose out the question, let you kick it off, Damien. Do
yeah,
you
man.
think because he was green that it wasn't on purpose the illegal knee, the disqualification loss that he ended up suffering,
See,
or do you
like,
think it was?
yeah, I'm really topsy turvy on what I think right now. I think I got to go back and watch the fight again because on one hand, a part of me thinks that he comes across as like a little bit arrogant in a way. I mean, from his
Mhm,
walkout to the way he just thought he could straight up close distance and brawl with the guy. So that's
mhm.
why I think when things weren't going his way, I think he just said, "Screw it! I'm just gonna try to like attack this guy in any way I can. Let's turn this into a straight up street fight." And then in that moment, he just forgot that kneeing the downed opponent was illegal. So, but on the other hand, because of his not his light experience, I could see why it was just a unintentional mistake as well. So I don't know. I got to watch the fight again and just check it over. But I could argue for both sides at the moment. But if I were to go with one, I would probably go with the former.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I still think like I think the reason why he's in the UFC and the reason why he got the co-main event
Yeah.
was because he's a former Pro Bowler in the
Hmm.
NFL, and like I think Dana White, and plus you look at like the way he's a guy's a beast. Like he's a truck. Like
Yep.
he he was a I don't even know, bro. He's a monster, but you can see like he's so big, but at the same time, even in MMA, it doesn't even matter how big you are or how small you are. You can like there's so many like different ways that you can fight in
Yeah.
in MMA, and that showed with Craig Hardy. He probably just thought, as I said, he was just gonna stand up and I'm bigger
Yeah,
than you, I'm stronger than you, I'm gonna knock you out. But
exactly.
that didn't happen because that's not how it works. Even if you go way back to what's his name, Randy Couture against was it James Toney?
Yeah, but that one
Yeah,
was a that one was a
yeah, that one
rush
was
of a
like
fight.
James Toney probably thought, oh, I can knock out Randy Couture. I'm a champion in boxing, but he got
Hmm.
wrecked.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
With the Greg Hardy thing, I think it's kind of a bit of karma maybe. The UFC it backfired on
yeah,
him.
Yeah, that's the
exactly.
word I was missing
Maybe
over there.
that was
Yeah, and
karma. That was his
I think it was
karma.
a bit of karma. But I do think I will say this. I'm on a definitive side, and I'll agree with another expert, Robin Black on TSN. I think
That
if
was
we
yeah,
all watched
I
the
saw
fight
that.
in the one point of the fight, um, oh my, why am I blanking on his name now? Was it Alan? See, we don't even know who was fighting. Greg Hardy's opponent,
Crowder was his name.
Crowder. I was gonna say
Yeah.
Crowder wasn't Alan
Player two.
Crowder. Uh, he had his hands down, was taunting Hardy. He was actually having some success with it too.
Yep.
And throughout the fight, he was doing, or throughout the second round, sort of, he was doing that. And you could see Hardy kind of getting frustrated and coming forward. And I think once he had him in a vulnerable position, you see he kind of looks, he pauses,
Yep.
and he sort of just
Calculated.
lays down, and then boom, he hits him with the knee as it's sort of
Calculated.
coming
Yep.
up. I think he was trying to say, okay, if he comes up, I'm hitting him with the knee no matter what. But
Mhm.
even if he's staying down, like he had that frustrated look on his face when he hit the knee. So I'm gonna say he sort of did it on purpose. Let's be
Mhm.
honest. I'm not, I don't want to sound, like harsh, but like with Greg's
I don't
heart,
think he knows all the
with
rules
Greg,
yet of
I
MMA.
I don't know. I mean, he's had 3 fights, and with his history, like not to sound harsh, like he doesn't exactly have a squeaky clean past. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Nope.
So, and I think this
I
could
don't
sort of
condemn
derail his
what he's done in
career,
his past.
and I bet there's going to be a lot of people pushing Dana to cut him,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
Mhm.
and all that. You gave him your
the whole
second
crowd was
chance and
chanting
all that.
asshole to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You gave him his second
Nobody's
chance.
really a big
First
fan
I
of
felt
him
like
to
it was the
begin with.
Attitude Era with Vince McMahon all over again,
There
bro.
you go, right?
Yeah, there was a couple WWE storylines tonight with the Save the Division, the Greg Hardy villain,
Yeah.
and there was a couple other good fights on the card as well. You had Conor Gillespie winning. I mean, he's got a good win streak going.
I
He
mean, we
was
got 12 gauge
7
coming back
That was like a
too.
grappling match, bro.
12 gauge. Ray Solashvich sucked to see her lose, but
Mhm.
you got Paige Van Zandt looked pretty good on the feet in
She
the
did.
limited time
Yeah, I
that
was
she
just gonna say
did.
her stand up was pretty good.
Yeah, she lands some pretty good kicks, which she does have, and uh, and then also we had Glover Teixeira winning on short notice as well. So a
Good for
couple.
Glover, man. I'm glad to see Glover still going at it. I've always liked Teixeira. He was always a great guy.
Good
Hmm.
fights, and then I guess maybe to wrap up our post-fight analysis
Oh
quickly,
Lord,
getting
do we
into.
really want to wrap up with
I
this?
mean, we could skip over, but
What a
Manny
mess. What a
Pacquiao
trash
unanimous
fight,
decision
bro.
win against Adrien Broner, which we
That
could have
guy's
skipped and jumped
delusional.
straight to the UFC analysis, but I wanted to,
Cookine's one hell of a drug.
watch the fight. I was curious a little bit that I had the opportunity to watch it, but thank God I watched half, so I was getting ready, sitting up and putting some things away and getting ready to set up for this post fight. So I only watched the half. That's a half I won't get back, but I mean,
Mm.
Manny Pacquiao looked pretty good. A couple
Yeah.
options to see him fight. I mean, he could fight Floyd. He has a belt too, so I mean,
Yeah.
maybe Earl Spence or Keith Thurman or somebody who wants like a kind of tune-up and to get
Mhm.
another belt to sort of bolster their sort of side A claim in in negotiating a fight might fight Pacquiao. But if you guys want to jump in, you guys can jump in, or we can
I
move
mean,
on
the
to see
only
what's next for the UFC.
yeah, I mean, like the only thing I want to say, and I'm pretty sure Yusuf is going to agree with me on this too.
Yeah.
What the hell was Broner doing? What was he doing? This kind of
This is what I
reminds
think
me.
with
Yeah,
yeah.
go for it, man.
I was gonna say this is what I think with Broner. I feel like going into the fight, he has a game plan, but once he's in the ring, the game plan goes out the window,
Yep.
and he does he does the complete opposite, and then
He looked like one of those dudes that when a dog is about to bite them and you don't know if you're about to move in and stop them or if you should move back. I don't know why he wouldn't just pull the trigger and just
I don't know why he didn't throw enough.
yeah, he wasn't
He
throwing
threw
enough.
so little.
he wasn't throwing enough, and it kind of reminded me of the Mikey Garcia fight too. It was just like his weakness is just high volume getting pounded on him all the time, and like he was, I think one of the stats was just that like he was throwing just over 20% of his power punches, and like he was just relying on counters like whenever he got the opportunity. I think it was in the fourth, which was probably his best round. But yeah, Adrian Broner, like that was, uh, I'm not a
That
fan.
guy
I'm not a
make
fan.
yeah, that guy makes you want to pull out your hair, bro. Like it's
Yeah,
yeah. I just thought like seeing Pacquiao back, and fighting. Like to me, he looked a bit slow, but even him being a little bit slow, he's still 40-year-old politician beat up
landing that much on
Adrien
you,
Broner.
like yeah, exactly. And even some of the punches that I found weren't landing as much. It was just like he just blitzes towards you, and it's just like he he he's not using step on punches. Like he's just stepping, like just jumping on you. It seems, but still credit to him for
I
being.
think he yeah. I think he had like 46 or 47 like body shots compared to Adrian Broner who had 2 or 3,
Oh my
something like
goodness.
that.
Yeah.
Which is like, and then after the worst part is obviously it was the as I predicted before, I was like Adrian Broner is gonna say something like stupid after the
Ridiculous.
fight,
Yep.
and he did, and he was like living in his own world thinking that he won the fight and
He's
everything.
delusional.
Yeah,
He's absolutely delusional.
he's delusional and he's got some mental issues, and I don't know. I think that guy should just stop boxing, and but he likes the attention. Clearly, you see the way
Yeah.
he walked into the ring and everything, thinking it's like some kind of like music video or
Thinking he was in like
something
Creed
like
2
that.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he thought I don't know. It was a mess, but at least Pacquiao got a win,
It was a feel good moment.
and the
I'm happy for
Philippines is
Pacquiao.
happy, and the
Yep.
Filipinos are happy
The Philippines came
that
out in
their
the
hero
legions.
won.
Yep.
Now just
Good for him.
he says he wants to fight more. So if he wants to fight more, fight more, then give him like a tune up. If he wins that fight, then make him fight Floyd for his last fight, and just end it
And
after that.
before I just jump to Marcus and get his thoughts, I just want to
Yep.
say Dave Moretti, what the hell? 8-4 for Manny? What
Yeah, it's boxing, I
That was a
it's
guess.
boxing,
It's
typical
boxing.
boxing politics, but it's
I
still
hate
it
to see
just
that guy.
yeah.
But yeah, just I
What did you
guess to
think,
wrap
Marcus?
up,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, just I guess to wrap up quickly, I kind of agree with what you guys said. Adrian Broner, his nickname is the problem for a reason. I mean,
he is a
that's
problem.
that's what he is. Like I said, in terms of what's next for Pacquiao, who knows? I mean, there's some good fights coming up in boxing. Like we keep alluding to, Mikey Garcia, Earl Spence, I think is the next big one I'm sort of looking forward to. And then Cinco de Mayo just announced we got Canelo versus Danny Jacobs, the Miracle Man, who the
Okay.
closest man
Okay.
fighter beat to almost beat Triple G, if you remember, got knocked down in that fight, but kind of sort of battled back, and that was the first fight. Triple G only won, I think, because of the knockdowns on the scorecards, or it would have been scored a draw, or maybe a split decision loss for him. I can't remember, but
Hmm.
he's gonna end up fighting Canelo on Cinco de Mayo, and I thought it was going to be Triple G. If I was to put some money on that, I would sort of bet that. So we got those fights coming up. Just quickly to
Also,
wrap up the
Amir
UFC as
Khan and Crawford.
yeah, we got
Also,
that as well. But just
Oh, Amir
quickly to sort of
Khan, Crawford's a
wrap up
beast.
yep.
tonight's events. I
Yeah,
don't know. Looking for a question to pose. I mean, we did cover all the main points.
Yep.
We got to what's next for Cejudo. I guess the next big fights, Israel Adesanya, Anderson Silva,
Kevin
as well
Gastelum and
as
Robert
Kevin
Whitaker,
Gastelum.
Bobby
Got
Knuckles.
Cain
Bobby
Velasquez.
Knuckles, my boy.
So look for a podcast coming out soon. I think
Yes,
it's a good
sir.
time to close it out. We look for podcasts coming out soon. Not sure when. Maybe in the next probably 2 weeks we'll release preview some upcoming fights. I'm sure there's going to be some news coming out of the controversies of tonight, the stoppage, and the great Cardi. Other
And
than that, any closing thoughts from you guys?
and we'll do more.
Um.
Oh, okay, go Damien, go Damien.
Oh no, I think yeah. Go for it first, because
Okay, I was
when
gonna
yeah.
say like we'll do more of these like quick reactions, like
Yes.
Yeah,
podcasts
let's
of
definitely
these
Yes.
come.
events, because now
This was cool. The
now
first one.
now we're on the Skype vibe. We're not commuting all the
Yes.
way to downtown Toronto, the
Yeah, Skype
library.
machine is working well.
So shout out to Skype making things more
Shout out
convenient for
Skype.
your boys.
Exactly. Yeah, just for closing comments. Like we said on the last podcast episode, we got a bunch of ideas coming your way. This is just one of them, and we got a couple. We're thinking of other things as well to bring you guys. So, like we always say, stay tuned to our
Hmm.
social media, our Insta, our Twitter. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Tell your friends.
All them things.
All right, and I guess that wraps up our first ever post-fight recap, the UFC, ESPN Plus, and a little bit of the Pack and Broner recap. And look forward to putting out episode 6 next. That should be coming in the next few weeks. And then we got some huge fights in February, big pay-per-views. So that's a wrap.
Yes, sir.
See you guys in a couple.
Peace.